All over the nation, kids have been complaining about their school lunches. This cliche theory has made its way into many television shows, not to mention real life. Well, I think our school has a real problem with its lunches. No one wants to eat them. So, that brings me to the topic of my rant. I am here to amend the policy of what is served in the hot lunch line at Brebeuf Jesuit. The cafeteria seems to be much emptier than it was last year, and I think I know the reason why. I can't seem to understand why the cafeteria staff wants to serve us lunches that no one, or very few people, actually want to eat. I just don't know why our staff makes unsatisfying and mediocre lunches when they could make delicious lunches for the same price. Also, here's the kicker. If they made delicious lunches, many more students would purchase them. This means a greater income for the school and the cafeteria. I have very strong evidence supporting my claim. I've interviewed a total of 5 people over the week of May 8th, and they all have similar opinions as me. Here are the shocking results of those interviews. My first interview was with Duncan McGlincy. Duncan said he buys hot lunches around 3 times a week and spends about $4 to $5 a day. When asked if he could recommend our school lunches to other schools, he said, "Not at all, because only once a week there's a lunch I actually enjoy." His favorite lunch is spicy chicken, and he stated he would not be tired of this lunch 2 to 3 times a week. This interview concluded with my hardest evidence. I asked, based on his information, if he purchased a hot lunch every day of the week, would he potentially be spending $8 to $10 more on food? He said yes. Next, I interviewed Maddie Galt. Maddie estimated that she buys hot lunches around once a month. She too agrees with Duncan when asked about recommending these lunches to other schools. She said, "Absolutely not, because they make me sick to my stomach." On average, she spends about $2 on hot lunches when she feels it is safe to eat them. If she were to buy the hot lunches even as little as twice per week, this would be a much larger income to the cafeteria. Now I interviewed Niall Cronin. Now Niall is a pretty big boy, so he spends a little more than average on his school lunches. On average, he spends about $5 to $6 a day, 2 to 3 days a week. But occasionally his lunches will reach $7. Also, his favorite meal is spicy chicken, and much like Duncan, he would love to see it served 2 to 3 times a week. He stated, "The only reason I don't eat the hot lunch every single day is because the hot lunches look very unappealing," and I can't say I disagree. If Niall ate hot lunches every day, this would be a very big bonus for the paycheck of the cafeteria. Now here is an interview with Amanda Repass. Amanda's main point against the school lunches is the fact that they are repulsive. She said that they rarely taste good, and I don't always feel great after eating them. She stated, "I would love to see a big change in the hot lunch, especially towards chicken dinos and macaroni." Now is the last interview with Jared Stein. This is the only senior I interview, and he didn't have a lot to say, but what he said was convincing. When I asked him how often he ate at school, he said never. He said the hot lunches at Brebeuf have continuously let him down until he left for lunch every single day. He goes with many seniors out to lunch together, so Jared's case is not special. Many seniors feel the same way and do the same thing. Now enough complaining, it's time for a solution. I propose that the cafeteria interview people, much like I did, to find the favorite lunches of most people. I'm sure they'll see a trend like I did in my interviews. The main food that everybody seems to like is chicken. They can give these lunches more often and make a lot more money from selling foods students look forward to eating. School might say that it needs to keep these lunches the way they are to be healthy, but that is just not the case. We had delicious lunches my freshman and my sophomore year, and they were probably even healthier. Also, the hot lunch line is not responsible for selling fruits and vegetables. Students can get these healthier items at Margot's Cafe. So in conclusion, if we made the school lunches more appealing to the students at Brebeuf, everyone would be happy. The lunches would cost the same, and because more students would buy the lunches, the cafeteria would make much, much more than they are making now. Also, the students would be thrilled at the new lunch items. As I've said, it's a win-win situation. Thanks for listening.